Today we have the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco Sport Badlands. We've been waiting for the Bronco, and this Bronco Sport is like the baby Bronco. It's small, but it's still adventure ready, and it's built to be capable. This Badlands has a lot of options, and it's got a lot of cool, quirky stuff that I got to show you guys. I can't wait to show it to you. We're going to take a full look and go for a test drive. Let's get started. Now right off the bat, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Rockwall Ford in Rockwall, Texas. They were super nice to let us take out this Bronco Sport. If you're in the DFW area, please be sure to check them out. I'll put their information in the description below this video. A couple of quick notes right off the bat with this Ford Bronco Sport is that it's the small Bronco. This isn't the big Bronco that you've probably heard about the most, but this is still built for adventures. It's got four-wheel drive standard. There are 5 different trim levels ranging from the base Bronco Sport to Big Bend, Outer Banks, Badlands, and First Edition. And I've got the Badlands today, which is named after the Badlands in South Dakota, which is where I'm from. So I can't wait to show it to you. Let's go ahead and start things off under the hood. So first of all, the base couple Broncos are going to give you a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo engine, but on our Badlands trim and the First Edition, you're going to get this 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. Now on Ford's own website, I got 2 different numbers for the horsepower and the torque, anywhere from 245 horsepower to 250 horsepower and about 275 to 277 pound-feet of torque. For this class and size of a vehicle, those are some pretty peppy numbers. It's also paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission instead of Ford's usual 10-speed, but that also comes with paddle shifters on this 2-liter turbo, and it can tow 2,200 pounds. And in addition to that, this 4-cylinder 2-liter actually gets additional cooling over the 3-cylinder turbo. Miles per gallon is rated at 21 in the city and 26 on the highway, and we'll go for a test drive in just a little bit. All right, let's take a look at all these exterior details of this 2021 Bronco Sport. Now keep in mind, this is the Badlands trim level, the second from the top. So it's built with trails in mind, good ground clearance, approach and departure angles, and ability to go through water. So starting up front, look at this grille. Of course, you're gonna have Bronco written across the front. There's even a camera right there that I'll show you what that looks like and what that's for in a little bit. Bronco gives us the round LED headlights. LED daytime running lights are standard. We've got full LED headlights on this particular model. You've got the signature lighting inside of there as well. You even get LED fog lights down below. So what do you think of the way that this front end looks with the round headlights? You can see the blinker over there. I think those signature lights look pretty cool extending off of that round running light. And down at the bottom, this is a plastic bumper. Of course, this isn't super rugged off-road, but you do get a couple of tow hooks down here and even a skid plate called a bash plate behind it. And this paint color is called Area 51. It's a bluish, grayish paint color, kind of light. I think it looks really good with the black accents and kind of the rugged exterior of this Bronco Sport. Tires and wheels are gonna vary a little bit depending on which trim level you get, but with this Badlands Bronco Sport, we actually get some optional all-terrain tires. And those are pretty big tires for this size of a vehicle, paired with 17-inch wheels. So those are actually 235/65 series all-terrain tires, so really good size for this size. Now on the side of the Bronco Sport, you're gonna get a fake vent right there. That's not real, it's just for aesthetics. And I'm a little surprised there's not a turn signal in the mirror, but not a huge deal. The mirrors are heated, they have blind spot indicators in them, so the heating can definitely come in handy in cold weather situations. Dimensionally, this Bronco Sport is 172.7 inches long, so it is really not long at all. It's actually pretty small, but because of its boxy shape and its more rugged, offensive design, it just looks a little bit bigger, but it's actually quite a bit smaller than even the Ford Escape. The top 2 trims, this Badlands and the First Edition, give us a unique front strut setup for better comfort and off-road performance. Plus, every Bronco Sport is going to give you a fully independent front and rear suspension to help with ride and handling. One thing that I like, most of these smaller crossovers nowadays are getting like body cladding on the bottom and around the wheels, but this one, it actually works because you've got the unpainted surfaces where you could get scratched, where you've got a good departure angle, the side body, in case you actually do go off-road, you don't have to worry about getting scratched as much. Then looking at the back, I like this rim around the taillight, kind of a Ford signature design. Incandescent turn signal inside of there. It says Bronco Sport on the back, Bronco up front. What do y'all think of the looks back here? This cargo area is where things get really cool and really interesting. So first of all, as you take a look down here, you can see glass and door. Push that and it unlatches this rear glass. So you can lift that up, which is awesome. I love that. You can easily put some stuff back in here. You can reach in here. It is a small window, but it just gives you another option to be able to reach into the back. I love that they offer that. Otherwise, you can push the other side where it says door, and it is a manual lift gate, no power lift gate here, but you got a couple of big grab handles up there. And back here, space will actually vary depending on whether you get the 1.5 turbo or the 2-liter turbo. The 2-liter turbo loses a little bit of space with about 29 cubic feet behind here, so it's still not bad because you've got a really tough roof. There's a lot of cool features back here. First of all, you've got a light. The Badlands trim also gives us this 3-prong outlet, got a 12-volt power outlet, and these are actually like little plastic carabiners that you can use to hook something down. You also get real tie downs, like a metal anchored tie down on each side as well. One more thing, a bottle opener built in on this Bronco. But wait, there's more, and it's on this lift gate. This is really cool. This is standard on every trim. So you see that you actually have a built-in floodlight that you can move. So you can tilt it that way, that way. There's one on each side. So they built that because they expect people to be out camping to where you could really use a light out behind you. Another thing is that you get a rubberized floor liner back here, so this should be really easy to clean and not get scratched up, or at least really care. You can lift this up and you get a spare tire down there, and it's a big spare tire with a little bit of extra room for storage. And when you fold the seats down, you will have to fold the headrest. There's a little button on each side to fold the headrest, and then press a button on each seat to lower the seat down. And you do get a lot of space because of this safari style roof. You actually get up to 65 cubic feet in the 1.5 turbo or 60 cubic feet in this 2-liter turbo. But you can actually, it's designed to hold 2 mountain bikes standing upright, plus lots of room for accessories. My only complaint is that it's only a 60-40 split. And I know a lot of people in other videos have commented wishing other vehicles had a middle split section, so a 40-20-40. I wish that they would do that for longer items, but still very spacious cargo area. So this Bronco Sport key fob is just like other Ford key fobs, except it says Bronco on the back. So you've got the intelligent key access on every trim except the base, and we even have remote start optional with our Badlands package. The way it works is to unlock it, you've got a touch sensor or just a sensor in the back, and you even have the keyless touchpad on the door, and then to lock it, just press those lines. But when you open it up, one cool thing that you'll find is that you actually have rubberized floors. So this will make it easier to clean and less messy, and you won't have to worry about ruining carpet if you have carpet in here and go off-roading and get messy. Now getting into the Bronco Sport is really easy because it's not too tall, it's not too low like a car, it's just a nice easy move inside. So if you have mobility issues, you're good to go. The base Bronco Sport will give you all manual 6-way adjustable seat, but our Badlands trim has the optional leather 8-way power adjustable seats that are also heated, and the leather looks really nice. It's got brown, light brown, dark brown, and even the Bronco on it. The bolstering in here is also quite nice. These seats are pretty darn comfortable. I haven't been able to spend a lot of time in here, but I've been very comfortable in just my short time. Bolstering is perfect, the headrest is in a good spot, and it just works. I don't have the seat all the way down or all the way up, but headroom is also really good, so you should be able to fit in here if you're a larger person. One note is that the Badlands trim will come standard with cloth seats that are supposed to be easy to clean. These leather ones are optional. We also have the optional heated steering wheel. This is also leather wrapped. It's manual adjustable with a good range of motion. Now taking a look at the interior, we got push button start right there. And I like that little screen that pops up with the scenic view. So starting over on the door, you kind of get a unique like rubberized material on here. This isn't like a super soft padded area, but it is kind of a nice soft rubberized type material. You've got a soft padded armrest with some stitching running across, good grab handle, and then some storage down here. You've got a bigger bottle holder here, and my bottle fits in this one, although it is a little bit snug, but that's good to see. All the light controls are right next to the steering wheel. And one quick note before we really dive in is that the Ford Copilot 360 is standard on every trim. So although there's safety features like automatic emergency braking, things like that, I have a full demonstration video of that. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description below. So starting on the steering wheel, this is a leather wrapped steering wheel that's also heated The button is down there by your seats. One thing I don't like about it is that these controls just kind of feel like old Ford. It doesn't seem like a 2021 style of controls, but very small complaint. When we look up front, we've got a couple of physical gauges on each side, and then the lower trim ones will get a 4.2-inch digital display, but ours gets the 6.5-inch digital display. There's quite a bit of information on here. You can control everything with the steering wheel. You can see your trip computer type of information. You can see customizable settings, and then all of this stuff can be shown in this screen. Now, one thing is that they kind of have that same rubberized material up here in some parts of the dash, and you've got that colored trim running across. Otherwise, you kind of get a hard plastic across some of the dash, but you've got that rubberized material in other spots. So kind of mixed materials in here, but it is a smaller, lower class type of vehicle. Ford gives us an 8-inch touchscreen standard on every trim with the Sync 3. So this is very similar to other Ford models that you've seen. Right now it looks like there are random lines on here, but that is just from the camera, don't worry. Now, audio looks the same, phone, navigation, all of that is very similar and just like other Ford products. This is customizable. You can change the layout a little bit as well, but you'll have to dive in yourself. Just below that, we have a volume knob and a tuning knob with a nice rubber coating around them. I like that. Auto stop start button here. And then check this out. You have a camera that you can see in front of you. That's actually the front off-road camera technically, but it's nice that you have that option. You can have a wider view or a narrow view, which can help you crest hills or in off-road situations. If we put it in reverse, then we get our backup camera, which gives us the hitch line and dynamic guidance lines. Those are the cameras that you get. There's no top-down 360 surround vision camera, which is okay on this size of a vehicle. Then you've got a rubber liner in here. Nice little storage bin, which is nice to see. I like that extra cubby. I like the color around here. Push button start there. And then down below we get dual zone climate control, which is actually standard. Manual climate control on the base model, and then regular single zone, and then optional dual zone. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, fan speed controls, everything's easy to use, and you still have the same soft rubber liner on these as well. And then down here you get a wireless charger, which is also optional, a couple USB ports, and a 12-volt power outlet. So good storage and cubbies in here, can't complain about that. Over here you get your glove box, which is actually not locking. I'd like to see that locking, especially for adventurers. Might have any kind of valuable gear you want to lock in there, whatever it may be. And then you got the turn dial, rotary dial shifter. You can press the M for manual mode with paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Behind it, we've got electronic parking brake, and then you've got the brake hold button that can hold the brake for you. And then you've got all your off-road controls here. So this one is called trail control. It's basically like a cruise control for off-roading. It'll control the speed for you, and you can basically just steer the vehicle. Then your four-wheel drive controls are to lock it, your rear locker back there, traction control, and then the GOAT modes, G-O-A-T, get over any terrain. So if we spin that dial, it will flash our mode up here. So you've got normal, eco, sport, slippery, and then if you go the other direction, you'll get into your off-road modes, mud and ruts, sand, etc. So that's pretty cool how you have that up here. And of course, bottle test works in both of them, so that's good to see. With our center armrest, you've got a nice padded armrest that has the stitching on it. It's a little low for my taste, but I like how long this armrest is. Lift that up, you've got a good sized storage bin and a couple of USB charging ports. Then right up above, you get an automatic dimming rearview mirror, which is going to be optional on the upper trims. We've got sunglass holder up here, and you actually have an optional moonroof, which is a little bit bigger than I guess the standard size moonroof. And then visibility wise, you kind of have a little bit of an upright view out of here. Pillar sizes aren't too bad as you come around looking out the back. If that headrest is folded, you definitely have better visibility, but that rear window is a little bit small, but still not bad because of the boxy shape. As you take a look at the back seat, you still get the same nice leather seats that you do up front, and they look good and they're pretty comfortable as well. But there's one problem. At this size of a vehicle, you definitely get tight on leg space. So behind myself at 5'9", This is how much room I'm working with. I've got really good foot space though, which is awesome. That side you can have good foot space. I would challenge a car seat back here, but look at this. You actually get AC vents, and then down here you don't get a USB port, but in our Badlands we actually get this 3-prong outlet, which is awesome. And like this sign says, you could use a USB port from inside the center console. Another cool thing is, check this out. There's actually zippered storage back here. And this is kind of a tough, durable little area. That's on both sides. So you get these zipper pockets on everything except the base model. And in addition to that, you've got straps right here. So you could literally, you know, put tools back here or strap something down or whatever you might have for your adventure. Ford gives you a fold down armrest that does have some padding and a couple of small adjustable cup holders. There's no panoramic roof overhead, but like you saw, you get that pretty large one right there, and you've got a couple of grab handles back here. And these seats don't recline or scoot forward and backwards, but I've got really good headroom wrap back here because of this safari style roof. So you can fit some tall people back here height wise, or the best part, like with the cargo areas, you can stack up some bicycles if you need to. One small complaint is that they did cheap out on hard plastic up here, which is not the same as what you get in the front. All right, everyone, let's get going on this Bronco Sport test drive, and see how it does. So start it up, put it in gear. In this test drive, we're going to talk about the ride comfort, acceleration, what it's just, you know, the fun factor about it, the handling, just how this new Bronco Sport drives, because I'm very curious, as well as you probably are. This is my very first impression of this Bronco Sport. Again, this is a dealership vehicle, so I'm not going to be hot rodding it. I'm not going to go off-road with it. If we get one later on, maybe we'll get a chance to off-road with it somewhat, but it's supposed to still have the chops and be capable of, you know, uneven terrain, bad terrain, off-roading to an extent. But my first impression of the Bronco so far is that you kind of have a nice view, because you kind of got a bulky hood. I like that it's not like traditional crossovers where the hood starts to slant away from you. It actually gives you the presence like you're driving a bigger vehicle than what it actually is. We'll put it in sport mode as well. There are several different drive modes available, but we're just in normal mode right now. We've got the digital display in front of us with the physical gauges there. First time on the brakes. Brakes feel fine. Nothing over touchy or too responsive. And one thing that I've noticed with the 8-speed transmissions is that with Ford, I like their 8 speeds better than their 10 speeds, at least on most applications. The 8-speed just seems to feel better, hunt a little bit less, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I think one thing to note is that this Bronco does feel a little bit, maybe a little bit stiff, a little bit stiffer than I was expecting. We have big tires on here. It is off-road capable. You have a little bit more of a suspension setup with these upper trims like this Badlands than you do with the lower trims. It's not a harsh ride, just a little bit stiffer than I was expecting. It almost feels like you do have big tires on here with the cornering. Like, it's not a topsy-turvy feel, but of course it's not sports car like. But I would definitely say this Bronco has a fun factor to it. I mean, you can just feel like you're kind of in a little bit more of a rugged vehicle. This has bigger wheels than many of the vehicles of this size. You seem to sit up a little bit higher than many of the vehicles of this size. I'm talking about in terms of length. So they did a nice job with this Bronco Sport of giving you that feeling of still kind of feeling like you're in a Bronco. And I can't wait to drive the other Bronco as well, because I have not been in that one yet. And we're still in normal mode. We will go ahead and get on it in just a second. Brakes again feel fine, haven't had to do anything crazy with that. And just with partial throttle, the turbo is real punchy. I mean, we've seen this 2-liter turbo in other applications before, and in this size of a vehicle, I'm glad to see that they offered this extra power output option on these upper trims. it's got some nice punch to it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in sport mode, so you can do your goat modes. So in sport mode, it should keep us in higher RPMs. Pedal down. And it's definitely got some good punch. It's a real punchy driving experience here. And it's holding the RPMs. There's actually a decent amount of engine noise and powertrain noise that gets in here. It's not something you always expect with non-sports cars, but you know, I think that adds a little bit to the fun factor. Maybe you won't like the increased noise in here, but as far as actual road noise, this has seemed to be fairly quiet just in my short time. This does also have a laminated glass over here, so that can help with noise suppression as well. And so far, just in my really short time, it's been responsive with the throttle. That turbo seems to respond pretty quickly. It's a good amount of torque and power for this size of a vehicle, and I'm sure a lot of you will appreciate that. So I want to know from y'all, is this Bronco Sport what you expected the Bronco Sport to be like? Obviously this isn't the big Bronco, but is this what you wanted to see out of it? Something small like this, something fairly peppy, still some off-road chops, but kind of an adventure vehicle is the best way to say it. I'm not sure what that 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo feels like in the Bronco. I will hope to be able to get into one of those trim levels later on to show you what all those trim levels get and how that engine responds as well. But as far as driving this on the regular, I feel like this would be something really easy to live with. I like the layout for the most part in here. I like the little storage cubby. The screen is within reach, although some of you may not like that tablet style. Steering wheel is comfortable to hold on to. Good armrest here. Probably a fairly easy place to live with for the most part. And going around the corners, it doesn't feel super wallowy like big SUVs, but it doesn't feel, you know, flatlined or totally flat like a sports car, as you would not expect it to. But I think it's provides plenty of confidence for most people, and I can't wait to be able to spend more time with one later on. But let's go ahead and wrap things up on this Bronco Sport. So what do y'all think of this 2021 Ford Bronco Sport? Is this everything you wanted in the small baby Bronco, or is there something that's missing? I like that they're giving us a unique option that does have adventure in mind. 4-wheel drive standard, a couple of off-road features, bigger than expected tires, and really quirky cargo area that all really makes this a really practical vehicle. I'd love to know what you think, and again, a huge thank you and shout out to Rockwall Ford. Be sure to check them out if you're in the market. Leave your comments down below, subscribe for more reviews, and I can't wait to get one of these Bronco Sports and another Bronco later on to show you some more detailed video. Be sure to subscribe for those. Have a great rest of your day.